All right, so a few days ago, I was having a conversation with somebody I look up to about improving my writing skills. He encouraged me to build a collection of old school direct mail sales letters for the pure purpose of swiping ideas and gaining inspiration. So I set off and started digging online for these letters and stumbled across a book called The Greatest Direct Mail Sales Letters of All Time by Richard S Hodgson. Knowing myself and my propensity to procrastinate, I've decided to keep myself accountable by documenting my journey through this book by studying the letters and posting them online. These letters have generated incredible results for companies like Mercedes-Benz, American Express, and Hewlett Packard. So let's start this video by turning to page 33, where we're going to read a letter from the publication Newsweek. Much like the letters throughout this book, they all had the same purpose: get a response from the reader. Specifically, this Newsweek letter had the task of earning a subscription from a potential reader who featured on a mailing list of similar magazines. Let's start off our analysis of this letter then. As per usual, with these types of sales letters, they have a salutation, which would be Dear Reader, or Dear Sir, Madam, or Dear Name. This particular one just has an usual Dear Reader. The first paragraph starts off with a conditional statement, if the list upon, and the conditional statement nicely sets up a pattern interrupt. This is not the first, nor will it be the last. Um, this has an effect which is like a jab cross in boxing. It kind of stuns the reader because you're stating the obvious. And the next phrase, quite frankly, softens the blow. So the, the quite frankly portion of this first paragraph, after quite frankly, should I say, it strokes the reader's ego by stating that they're different from the general population because of the income they earn and the education they have and the type of magazines they subscribe to. Um, if you notice as well, quite frankly, it continues the flow of thought. It establishes a tone of voice that infers sincerity, and the conditional statement and pattern interrupt is going to be a tool that we're going to notice throughout the letter that creates sincerity, a tone of sincerity, and it's going to be used to cushion flattering phrases. So, what I mean by flattering phrases is in the second paragraph, you're going to notice the phrase, you've undoubtedly heard everything by now. The third paragraph has another flattering phrase, nor will I insult your intelligence. And then the third and fourth paragraph continues with this theme of flattery and radical truth. Can I say? Radical truth is going to be introduced with some conditional statements that start with if. Uh, if we concentrate on the fourth paragraph specifically, if you subscribe to Newsweek, you won't get rich quick. That's a form of radical truth. This paragraph seems to concentrate on tackling red flags that will set a reader off or put a reader off because we're dealing with somebody who's very savvy and sophisticated. It seems that the approach of the writer is to level with them by managing expectations, if that makes sense. Radical truth, in the form of you won't get rich quick, you won't bowl friends over, um, is a very effective technique that can be used to contrast negative and positive perceptions. We can feel this effect in additional phrases such as, should you attain further professional or business success, you have your own good luck and native ability to thank for it. Um, so, moving on into the fifth paragraph, uh, what then can Newsweek do to you? This is just the writer pushing the conversation along with a tie down question that's gonna set up reasons why they should subscribe to the publication. But if you notice, instead of going to the positive, the writer pushes to the negative. So he does this by using the verb depends. The answer depends upon what type of person you happen to be. So from this point on, the writer is going to frame negative traits with a series of if you statements to set up the positive traits that are gonna follow in the seventh paragraph. So let me just make sure. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Yeah, in the seventh paragraph. So the negative traits, if you are not curious about, if you are quickly bored, if you couldn't care less, this is very casual. These are casual phrases that identify somebody who's lethargic and not really interested in it. And it nicely closes off the paragraph by stating it can't do a thing for you. So what can Newsweek do for you? It can't do a few it can't do anything for you. And then it flips to the positive with another conditional statement, if on the other hand, and then it frames a positive traits that a Newsweek subscriber will have. So we can say, if on the other hand, you're the kind of individual who would like to keep up with national and international affairs, and then it states a challenge that a reader would have that they can't spend hours reading publications or they're a busy person. If a person is genuinely interested, if you notice the word genuinely, um, that's a very powerful word that's gonna infer somebody who has an appreciation for current affairs and what's going on around the world. And then that's the reason why somebody would subscribe to Newsweek. And then the way that Newsweek is framed is an investment. So then this is going to be the eighth paragraph. Then Newsweek may well be the smartest investment you could make in the vital weeks and months ahead. So the person who's going to subscribe to this publication is going to know what's going on around the world and be able to have an intelligent conversation with people. And what I like about the ninth paragraph that we're going to come across is that pricing is going to be used to contrast with the size of the operation so that the investment doesn't seem that expensive or the investment seems worthwhile. So if you notice, for a little more than a cent a day or a penny a day as a Newsweek subscriber, and then if we carry on reading, by over 200 top-notch reporters here and around the world. So for a little bit of for a little more than a penny a day, I'm gonna have a publication that has more than 200 people around the world contributing to it, and they're gonna be taking facts from people who are directly at the source. And what I do like about the ninth paragraph, I believe we're at now, is the brand position statement from Newsweek. You get facts, no bias, no slanting. And this is a nice turn of sentence length from long sentences into short, punchy sentences to establish a brand position for Newsweek. And then what follows is just what you'd expect in a sales letter, a series of bullet points. And this is framed as a future possibility. So in the event for weeks to come, so now we're pushing the reader into the future to see what type of content or they're going to come across in the editorial calendar. So we got election strategies, administration move, GOP plans, Kremlin maneuvering, Europe's future. So this is really showing the reader that we're going to be covering, or Newsweek is going to be covering events on a global scale. The I think this is the 12th paragraph now. The 12th paragraph further develops what type of content they're going to expect in the editorial calendar from the publication. It's not just going to be politics, it's going to be science and space, and it's going to be a wide range of stories which will be interesting to a person who's interested in current affairs. And if you notice how a lot of the positive aspects are set up with conditional phrases such as weather, and then you learn, this actually sets up a nice window for the reader to get a peek into what they can get by joining the publication. Moving on to the last last few paragraphs. We see that the letter's just further developing what the reader's going to get. So they're going to dive into the fascinating world of art. Um, whether you're interested in books, ballet, painting, plays. So it's just really painting a picture of what the reader will get. And what I like of as well is that the editorial from the publication is fair and non-biased. And then towards the last few paragraphs of the letter, we've got embedded commands such as subscribe now, and then it's going to add a layer on top of what we've already explained to them by further showing them more editorial pieces or more editorial range in the publication. So we got International Film Awards, new art shows in the Louvre in Paris. So what this is a form of association. They're gaining credibility by association, stating well-known cultural places such as Broadway to let the person know that, right, I'm going to be well spoken, I'm going to be well cultured. And then moving on to the next paragraph, and you'll be briefed on the happenings in the worlds of business, labor, education, religion, science and medicine, sports and TV. It's just further highlighting we cover a whole range of things that's going to make your conversation interesting. That's what we're going to be in. That's what the writer infers. Moving on to the close. Um, you read Newsweek at your own pace. It's handy, top of the week index, lets you scan the top news stories of the week in 2 minutes. So this is just painting the picture of, right, if you open up the magazine within the first few pages, you're going to have a review. You could just blast your way through it. It's not going to be difficult for you to be up to date, pick your stories, read what you like. Whenever you've got a kill in the day, when you're sorry when you whenever you have a lull in the day, not a kill in the day, whenever you have a lull in your busy schedule, you could always return to the story itself for full details. Um, and then the last part of the letter where we've got the close and the offer. It's got an embedded command, try Newsweek, try it at a special introductory offer, and then that offers the 37 weeks of Newsweek for only $2.97. That's about 8 cents a week, little more than a penny a day. You would pay $9.25 at newsstands for the same number of copies, $4.98 at our regular yearly subscription rate. So this is just framing the offer and comparing and contrasting it to how much it will cost at the stands and how much it will cost elsewhere. And if you notice that they use 8 cents a week to minimize to the ridiculous, this is a technique that was used earlier on when they said a little more than a penny a day, just to show you you're going to get all this value for just a penny a day or just 8 cents per week. And after the offer, there's a guarantee to eliminate last minute resistance, and it states, and try it with this guarantee if, after examining several issues in your own home, you don't agree that Newsweek satisfies your own interests, you receive a prompt refund. So this is just 100% guaranteed return. So this is just 100% guarantee. You could just return it if you don't like it. And then the last paragraph states an order form is enclosed along with postage page in return envelope. So it's just showing the reader how to actually get the product, or which is Newsweek. Fill out the subscription form and send it back to us. We've already covered it. It's going to be no cost on your end. We're taking all of the risk. And then as well, on top of that, here's another offer that we've got for you. We can bill you later. So we'll send you a publication, you get it, and then we'll bill you later. So and then we've got a signature, the person who wrote the letter signed off on it, and there's no PS. It's quite interesting. Overall, I like this letter. It was a good first one to go through, just to read through, get an understanding of the potential structure of sales letters and how I could pitch services or pitch a sales letter, give a reason why they should subscribe, compare and contrast, use conditional statements to highlight the negative and the positive. Then we move on to using embedded commands to ask for your order or ask for your offer. Sorry, ask for the order, and then below that you ask for an offer, or you present your offer, should I say, and then below that you compare and contrast your offer in terms of pricing to what they'll get elsewhere. And after that, you give your reader a guarantee, and then after that, you tell the reader how they'll get the product that you're trying to promote. Yeah, so that's the first video done. Let me know your thoughts, and on the next one, we're going to be looking at a letter which promoted Psychology Today.